Wisdom is developed only in experience. In what seems like stark contrast to yesterday's passage, here we see that we have to do things in order to attain wisdom. It's not just something that can be taught to you. Okay, so maybe it's not stark contrast to yesterday, because we talked about yesterday about pedigree, your family name, and why that can't be a substitute for wisdom. So maybe this makes sense. In order to attain wisdom, you have to do things. You have to gain the experiences. If we just sit by idly, or if we're too busy with menial tasks, we won't actually grow or have time to reflect on experiences we have that might gain us wisdom. So we should think about things we've done recently, and if the stuff we've done in recent days has been beneficial to growing in wisdom. Likely it has. The odds are good that it has. And so we have to evaluate that. You say, okay, what have I done? And how is that pushing me to become a more wise person? And maybe it's in some certain aspect of your life that you're not realizing. There could be experiences you're having that at the time are in one lane of your life. Maybe in work. You're having these experiences at work, and maybe you're too busy to take time to reflect. But when you do, you might realize that those workplace experiences are actually going to be a cornerstone of the way you live your family life. Maybe it's with discipline. Maybe it's with intentionality. Who knows? And that's part of the fun of this whole wisdom thing, is that it is the journey. It is the path. And for everyone, it's going to be a little bit different. The cool thing about the book of Proverbs is that in broad strokes, it applies to everyone. And in the minute details, it also applies to everyone. Now, the exact precise way it's going to work out in your life will be different than in mine or your neighbors. And that's the nature of the beast. We are all beautifully created slightly differently, where these nuances will look a little different in the way that our brains process it and actually apply it. But the core tenets are the same. You have to have experience in order to get wisdom. And just having experiences will grow you a little bit in wisdom, but you have to reflect on those experiences. You have to consider a level deeper of what it actually means. And part of the growth of that discernment muscle that we've talked about before is knowing which experiences are worthwhile to reflect on. And the only way you can grow that muscle is by reflecting on more experiences. So the experiences, it's kind of, it's contained within itself. You get the experiences and you have to reflect on them. And then reflecting on the experiences is an experience within itself that grows your ability to determine whether or not an experience is worth reflecting on. It's a lot. And growing in wisdom, it's a tall task. We start off life pretty unwise. That's why we have our parents to guide us, because hopefully they're more wise than we are whenever we're children. And as we grow and morph and change into adults, that can hopefully think and apply these experiences, the onus becomes ours. It becomes our responsibility to be able to apply that in our lives and perhaps teach other people about it. And so it is difficult and it requires effort. But I think the point of what we're getting at here in the getting experiences is it's worth it. Because that desire to grow, it's cool. And the desire to grow makes you want to have more experiences. And more experiences mean a fuller life. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy of sorts of a positive feedback loop where you get more wise, you get better at reflecting on your experiences, you want to have more experiences to reflect on, and then you get more experiences. That's great. And I think it's a really hopeful note for this day. Some of these past few days have been a little bit darker, a little bit hard to talk about, with talking about foolishness and mockery and things like that. This is cool. Today has me really hopeful, and I'm excited to see what comes in the next few days. So the question really is, how can you gain more experiences? And then how can you grow in how you reflect on those things? I'll be praying for you. See you tomorrow.